Lumumba Sayers is 6-2. Anthony Smith 16-8. This one to kick off the Showtime card on Saturday night. Also on Super Channel here in Canada. This one at middleweight, Sayers 6-2. Smith 16-8. Wow, interesting.
It's funny how Sayers.
Interesting records here. Yeah,
it's funny how Sayers is fighting another guy named Smith. As in his last bout, he had a first-round submission over Scott Smith,
which was super impressive. Well, you look at Anthony Smith, he had a TKO win over a 15-14 fighter named Richard White in his last fight. That was on June 30th in Nebraska. Wow. I mean, you look at Sayers, he submitted Scott Smith on March 3rd for Strikeforce. That's impressive stuff.
Yeah, you know, I don't want to take anything away from Dick White, but Scott Smith obviously isn't the fighter that he once was. I think he's lost his last 5 or 6 fights,
right?
Including a local fight that he had against a 3-4 fighter following his loss to Sayers. But Sayers really stepped up, and I don't disagree with Lumumba being on TV on the regular Showtime card. I think he's got the potential of, being a big star one day. He's got 5 victories via submission and 1 TKO. As far as winning fights, Sayers doesn't go the distance. Sayers finishes fights, which is very impressive. He's actually never gone the distance.
But he's been finished twice before.
Yes.
He's been submitted twice. 5-2 fighter Preston Snook in 2010, and he lost to 9-1 Derek Brunson in 2011. So Sayers, he finishes fights, 5 of 6 wins via submission, 1 knockout, but he's also been tapped out twice. He's 2-1 though in Strikeforce. 34 years old though is Lumumba Sayers.
But both these guys are fight finishers. If you look at their
look at Anthony Smith. He's got 9 of 16 wins via knockout with 7 submissions, but he's been knocked out 6 times and lost twice via submission for 8 total losses. Smith is 1-1 in Strikeforce. 10 years younger though, 24 years old. He's from Omaha, Nebraska. Interesting fight here. Sayers, he's got a lot of age, and he has less experience than Anthony Smith, but I think he's fought better fighters.
I kind of have a feeling that this fight is not going the distance, regardless of who is picking up the victory.
Gee, you think? Neither of these guys has ever had a decision fight. You think it's not going the distance? I'd be willing to agree with that. But who are you going to pick to win here? I'm going to go with Lumumba Sayers. I think he'll probably pick up the win. Maybe a knockout, but I'd say most likely a submission.
I'm going to go with Lumumba as well. Again, the victory over Scott Smith is the thing that's kind of pushing me more towards
me too.
Picking him.
Me too.
Scott Smith is a notable name in mixed martial arts. Again, yes, he hasn't looked great in the last couple of years. Nonetheless, he's still a veteran of the sport and has stepped into the cage with everyone in mixed martial arts. Whereas Anthony Smith's last win, yes, it was a TKO victory, and it was not long ago. It was only on June 30th. He's getting right back in. He's probably still in fantastic shape. But when you fight a guy that's barely above 500...
it's a different deal than fighting Scott Smith.
That's it.
It's a completely different deal. So we both like Lumumba, and we move right along to a fight in the light heavyweight division. It's OSP, Ovince St-Preux, 11 wins, 5 losses, taking on TJ Cook, 12-4. OSP coming off a unanimous decision loss to Gegard Mousasi in his last fight. That was in December of 2011 for Strikeforce. While Cook is coming off a loss as well, he was submitted by a 10-2 fighter named Trevor Smith. That was in November of last year for Strikeforce. OSP has 5 of 11 wins via knockout with 3 submissions. Cook, 9 of 12 wins via knockout with 2 submissions. Impressive stuff. Both of these guys like to knock people out. Cook, though, has never been knocked out. He's lost 4 times, all via submission, while OSP has lost 4 times via decision and once via TKO. OSP was on an 8-fight win streak before that Gegard Mousasi fight. He is 29 years old, born in Haiti, but fighting out of Knoxville, Tennessee. His opponent, Cook, 29 years old, from Bellevue, Florida. Cook is 1-1 in Strikeforce, OSP 5-1. I think that says a lot. I think that the fact that OSP fought one of the best in the world in Gegard Mousasi and went the distance with him says a lot. I think the fact that he's got wins over Jason Day, Benji Radek, and Antoine Britt, while Cook doesn't really have big notable victories to his record, I like Ovince St-Preux a lot in this fight. I'm going with OSP.
I'm a big fan of OSP. I remember, I believe it was in November of 2010 where he fought like 3 times in a period of like 2 months or something along those lines.
Yeah, I think it was 2010.
Picking up 3 victories in a row. Obviously stepping up in competition and taking on Gegard. Gegard did kind of manhandle him, but
that's Gegard Mousasi.
Yeah,
what are you going to do?
Exactly.
The fact that Strikeforce thought enough of him to fight Gegard says a lot. The guy was on a roll. He ran into Gegard and realized, okay, I might not be top 10, but I think I'm pretty good for Strikeforce. I think he's pretty good for Strikeforce. I think he beats TJ Cook.